I think what happens a lot of the time is people get ahead of themselves. What I have noticed is that a lot of people that do this job have more reactionary personalities. I basically do Let's Plays on my second channel and then title them like they're not, because that's really all you need to do is get people in the door, and then you can kind of do whatever you want.
Would you rather give oral medication via syringe to the mouth of Ted or Jay Schlatt?
Ted is like, he would be snapping at it. I mean, I think that I could orally medicate Schlatt.
Do you have your own, hard lines that you draw when it comes to cereal?
Here's the thing. Cereal's bullshit, guys.
Maybe he thinks he just won't spill the beans.
Oh, it
Spill
goes
the
deeper!
beans!
Oh,
It has
Spill
layers!
the beans!
Ooh.
All of a sudden it makes a
That's
lot
the
more
secret.
sense, huh?
It makes so much sense
Oh
now.
my god!
Hey, welcome to the Create Unknown, the home of Make Something Mean Something. It is Wednesday night, TCU night. I am Kevin Lieber. We have a packed to the brim Discord live right in front of my faces and into your ears. And with me, as always, is Matthew Tabor.
Yeah, the episode chat is teeming with warm bodies, hot bodies tonight. Just people came out of the woodwork for this guest, which is exciting to see. But before we go down that road, you had a little shirt announcement again, didn't you?
Yeah. So we had a couple of questions about when are shirts shipping? Well, Congratulations. Shirts are shipping this month. So if you ordered a shirt during our pre-order phase, it is now shipping time. So when they do ship out, you will receive a tracking number so you can just refresh that United States Postal Service website over and over until it's in your hands and draping your beautiful body.
And it's an important thing for VidCon, too, because if you're not wearing that shirt, that's a license for Kevin or I to punch you in the face if we see you. So if you go to VidCon and you don't rep the Create Unknown with one of these shirts, you just prepare for violence.
That's right. And also, before we get to our guests, I just want to thank several of our patrons for going annual, which is a big deal. You are locked into the Create Unknown for another 364 days. So thank you so much for doing so. And
it really does help us, pay the bills and keep everything running. That's an amazing thing. So thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you very much. All right. Without further ado, for the thousands of people waiting to hear about our guest, let's kick things off.
Okay, well, years ago, Kevin made a video on Vsauce 2 called The Invention of Collecting, in which he detailed, among other things, Jefferson Burdick's lifelong obsession with completing trading card collections. When Burdick finally finished, he stood up and announced, "I shan't be back," and checked into a hospital. He never checked out. We may very well suffer a similarly morbid fate tomorrow after having inserted the last of 3 stones into the Chuckle Sandwich Infinity Gauntlet. The gems of Ted, Jay Schlatt, and now Slimecicle. Before the wildly popular Chuckle Sandwich podcast, which is now in its 24th episode, Slimecicle built a massive audience with gaming videos about being traumatized by Minecraft in VR, surviving an endless string of the Minecraft's natural disasters, developing anger issues in Doom Eternal, or simply declaring "this is" before evaluating a game. But the most impressive thing is that he's just as entertaining solo as he is surrounded by tremendous talent, from the former Lunch Club to his current involvement with Dream SMP. Over the last year or so, he's largely shifted production to a second channel, which follows a more classic Let's Play theme. He's also got a very popular Dungeons & Dragons podcast, Just Roll With It, which has a strong following on both YouTube and Twitch. And he established himself as gaming's poet laureate with a 22 million view video titled Corn, in which he threatened all you mother shuckers with "Come down today and try some corn, or we will sacrifice your newborn." But it's easy for the comedy to obscure a more traditional creative and academic genius, such as his role in producing a documentary about centuries-old life in Vermont told through music of the time. Forget-Me-Not Vermont, Melodies of the Green Mountain State won first prize at the Freedom and Unity Filmmaker Contest. We don't know exactly what a Slimecicle is, but we do know that Charlie is one of the most effervescent, quick-witted, and likable people online. It's really no surprise that every time he jumps into a new project, he's swarmed by rabid fans. And this all adds up to a very rare opportunity for us. There are certain questions that only men of Slimecicle's caliber can answer. So, Charlie, we have to ask you, would you rather be 11 feet tall or 9 inches tall?
How wide am I in both?
Proportional, I would say.
Completely proportional? So if I'm 9 inches tall, am I 11 feet wide?
No. That's what I'm saying. Let's jack this up and say
please do.
11 feet tall,
or maybe
and 9
jack
inches
it down,
wide.
really depending. So wait,
or
11
9
feet
inches
tall, 9
and
inches
11 feet wide.
Honestly, man, I think I'd probably have to go tall logistically, right? As much as I would love to be a dude puddle, right? And there's like a lot of potential there for sure. I'm just thinking in terms of like, we live in a certain day and age here in 2021, and like I would need a lot of square footage, in a place if I was like 9 feet wide.
Wait, what is a dude puddle?
True.
It's what I would be if I was 9 inches tall and 11 feet wide. I would be a dude puddle.
But I want to know, using your exact proportions now and just scaling it up or down, which would you rather do? And for what reasons?
Would I
what
rather
are the
be
advantages?
Squished or squashed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the thing, right? I think it's kind of hard to think of advantages of being a dude puddle, because I think even like a doorway or something, it presents a unique problem where now you have to kind of crepe yourself or like do something similarly to get through. You know what I mean? Like you need to fully roll, right? And so then it becomes like, okay, where are my bones? And I don't really want to work with that. So I think if you're tall and you sort of like kind of put yourself, you bend like a protractor every time you go through a door frame, at least you can like navigate, right? Whereas if you're just like on eye level with like a rat and you don't know where 90% of your body is because it's, trailing behind you somewhere. I just think logistically, if I have to choose, as much as I enjoy maybe some of the potential that comes with, being a sludge, and it would be on brand, I'd probably have to stretch. Yeah, I'd probably have to go tall. What about you guys? Am I allowed to ask that?
Well, I'm just curious, like if you're going to deviate from the mean a fair bit, which 11 feet tall would do, or 9 feet, 9 inches tall and 11 feet wide, whatever. Like, wouldn't you really just want to go all out and have this super weird dimensions rather than like a Guinness Book of World Records curiosity?
Give me an example of what all out would mean, Matt.
Well, I think being 11 feet wide and 9 inches tall is like substantially more different from the norm than 11 feet tall.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying the like the thinness, the proportional. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also difficult because you can't really like. I think you probably couldn't go anywhere very windy or like without tree cover. You would probably be lost, which is sort of unfortunate.
If you were like the pancake style, do you think that it would be feasible to fold you or roll you up and take you places?
I could probably be folded, I feel like. I mean, are my bones all doing it too? Or are my bones just kind of going around? Like, are my bones just going to be everywhere?
Kevin, did you think about the skeleton of these?
No. But when you said rolled up, I just imagined like, is a giant going to smoke you? Like, is a giant going to like fill
they could.
You up?
They could. Yeah.
Like human rolling paper. That's kind of where my mind went immediately.
I mean,
I also thought that like there's somebody out there who's going to have some sort of like human blanket fetish, and they're just going to drape themselves.
Oh, they would eat that
you.
shit up, man. I could like paint myself like red and black and maybe sneak into the Olympics and like be the pole that they vault with. Like I have like a friend in the Olympics, and he's really good at pole vaulting because what they don't know is that his pole is me. And so, they put my feet down and I can give him like a little extra lift.
So for those of you listening who are 100 years old like I am, there was an NES game called A Boy and His Blob. And
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
You know
It's a
that. Oh,
classic.
so they made like a remake for Wii, I think, like way later. And I never played the remake, but the original
my
one
God.
I had as a child. And that's kind of what that game is. You're a boy and you have a friend who's a blob who can change form and can become a trampoline, can become like a rocket, can become a ladder, I believe. So
Well, I would just be tall. I wouldn't really be able to achieve those things. I will ask though, if you did take the more blobular option, like getting really wide and really low, I mean, is there like a tactical advantage? I don't
I
know.
think that's you'd have a better merch game. I mean, you'd like think of the body pillows, like you would be the ultimate waifu.
yes.
That's
Yes.
very true. Yeah. So
Which-
it would,
and you need
and it would
money to
be
survive.
it
You
would-
need to get by
It would
somehow.
mostly just be a skin-colored body pillow.
Right.
Like, with a
Isn't that all we are
with just
anyway?
a little face. It really is, man.
Yeah. That's what love is just finding your skin-colored body pillow.
Oh, God.
If anybody has like a Match.com profile that's active right now, please change the title to like "In Search of My Skin-Colored Body Pillow" and just share with us whatever messages.
And
you
anyone
get.
that DMs you, do not respond.
Yes.
Absolutely do not reply
A huge
to
red
anyone that
flag.
takes interest.
Yeah. I'm just imagining
God.
some sort of birds and the bees talk using that language.
Oh.
Like, when a man and a woman, they meet and
Ugh.
they want to use each other as skin-colored body pillows. 9 months later, here you are.
That is so foul. That's so foul.
Well, I think that's all for tonight.
Yeah, that was really good, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much for having me on. I actually have a commitment that just came up right as we started talking about this. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, I guess we should talk about like more important things, like Chuckle Sandwich and that sort of thing. But I have, I guess we'll just steer straight into what my big question was, and a heavy hitting question, and that is that I have noticed over the years that there have been a lot of what I would deem like supergroup podcasts that come onto the scene. They blow up. Everybody's really excited about it. And man, do they not last long. It seems like
For sure.
every single one of them has all of this momentum for like 6 months or maybe a year. And then for reasons that nobody really knows about because it's between the people who are involved in the podcast, it just kind of fizzles out and everybody's sad. And then it turns into some other project. So I know that you have direct experience with this, and you're the first person I think we've had on this podcast that has seen kind of like the rise, fall, and rise of this phenomenon. What do you think causes the fallout to happen so quickly, and what sort of things are you thinking will lead to long-term success for Chuckle Sandwich?
All right. To answer that question, one of the longest, just to give context for sort of my response, one of the longest running podcasts I've been on for sure is Just Roll With It, which started as just a group of friends doing it, right? One of the guys we started with, he goes by Triple McWeedy on social media, is not an influencer or YouTuber or anything. He's an airplane mechanic that Grizz just happened to know. And so it was just a bunch of boys playing D&D, and it ended up turning into now this long form thing where we're kind of in it for the long haul. I think what a lot of these supergroup things do, right, is either they're put together by the group very spur of the moment, or worse, they are sort of brought together by maybe a manager or like someone that wants to see that those numbers work, right? But ultimately, going into a business with friends, especially in a space like YouTube, a lot of people don't always have the right mindset and try to kind of get ahead of themselves a little bit. Like I used to watch like The Creatures and stuff. And I think what happens a lot of the time is people get ahead of themselves. They move in, they do this sort of gamer house setup, start working on a lot of projects together. And it just turns out that like working in that close proximity with kind of what I have noticed is that a lot of people that do this job have more reactionary personalities, right? Like a lot of them don't really get on a a project for a long time and kind of do this slow approach, it's a lot of very much like, yeah, let's get into it. And so I think the reality of it is, if you are going to do something like that, you should do it with people that you have chemistry with, and that you also know, whatever happens, like, you're good with. You aren't just doing it because, there's some other influencer with a big following or whatever. In the case of Ted and Schlatt, I've known them now for a while, and we talk pretty frequently and do shit outside of YouTube. Like Chuckle Week was great. Ted and I just went to Universal for a while, cameras off and stuff. I think that you need to be people with very similar styles, because it's easy to clash in this sort of industry where a lot of it is like kind of, I can make what I want, right? You're going to run into those bumps. But in the case of Chuckle Sandwich, so far so good. It's kind of Ted's passion project that he brought Schlatt and I on for. And both of them have really great work ethics. I love working with those guys, but also more importantly, they're my friends. I can just talk to them about shit. We can just get together and shoot the shit without any pressure of, what we're trying to do with the podcast or what it is. It's more so just we have similar styles and we want to make something. I think that's kind of what it boils down to, for me at least.
Yeah. I wrote something down and underlined it because it's the first time I've heard this term. Reactionary personality you used to talk about YouTubers. That is the nicest way I've ever heard of describing the nightmare that YouTubers are to work with. Reactionary personality. Where did you get that? Oh my God, that's like the most diplomatic politician way of describing the YouTuber brain.
I don't know. I was just kind of like, I was just sort of thinking about my experiences and how people react to stuff in the sphere, and how people are so quick to assume things or make drama or make their problems public. And I was like, I guess reactionary is a good word. So yeah, it's just sort of spur of the moment, but it feels apt, I think. At least with some.
That's one of those things that's like as much of a superpower as it is a detriment.
Yes.
Because that like willingness and quickness to throw everything out there and just like make decisions really fast and not think about it. All of that is amazing in a lot of ways, but it's the ultimate fire situation. It could cook your dinner or burn down your house,
Absolutely. Yeah. I have found personally, that's the kind of thing I'm very I think repelled away from. Like my personal style is very much kind of, I want to build an audience and then like basically make an internet bunker and then just make what I want, like with those pre-established people that I know like the style, because I don't know, like collaborating with people is great and all, but when it just starts to come to like being a brand and making the product before, telling a cool story or whatever the case is. Yeah.
Well, I noticed that about your channel. Your channels, your projects, it's all plural because you do so many different things. And for the most part, when we talk to creators, and definitely the way that I've always approached YouTube is so like content and format based first. And when I look at what you're doing, and a handful of other creators too, it seems to just be that passion first, personality first, and then the format is almost incidental almost, where you're not like, I'm going to develop this show and like, this is the show that I do. That seems to me, there's like a bit of this changing of the guard that has occurred. And like, I love both of your perspectives on this, where it seemed like old YouTube, like me, I'm old. I am old YouTube. Old YouTube.
ElderTube.
Yeah, ElderTube. That sounds gross for some reason.
No, that sounds like a web.
ElderTube.
You know what?
It does sound like a place that I don't want to type in this search
Don't
bar.
Google that.
So I already have.
It also sounds like a relic.
I Googled it. Well, logged into my Vsauce account, so that's great.
Oh God!
But ElderTube.com is actually available for $999.
Bought.
That's a steal.
Done.
Yeah.
Locked in.
Slimecicle's next video. No, but it seems
I located the ElderTube.
like the point is, old YouTube seemed like you had to develop a format. You had to have like a repeatable format that people understood and you could just kind of like iterate on. It's, mind blow 117. It's whatever. It doesn't seem like it's like that anymore. It seems like more like people get attached to who you are, and you can do a Let's Play, you can do a podcast, you can do that video that you did where you're just like reviewing, what was it, like rock kits, like rock breaking kits?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, and Ted was the same way. Ted's like, I'm just gonna like review milk, and that's a video, and that like breaks my brain thinking like that's a video, really? But yeah, like now that's just a video. So do you think it's because you grew up so much with YouTube that you're able to just hop around to different formats that you find interesting, and the audience comes along with you, or what do you think about that?
So I actually really miss the old like Let's Play style Northern Lion Binding of Isaac episode 2340 shit.
Right.
I think the reason it stopped working like with the system is just because YouTube started focusing so much on recommended and the algorithm, right? Where before it was very much like you get people on, your page and they get the same thing every time, and the subscribers like get it sent out to them. And then that stopped happening, and there was all that, shit where YouTube changed stuff up so many times. And now, I mean, it's funny you mentioned things like Let's Plays, because I basically do Let's Plays on my second channel and then title them like they're not. Because that's really all you need to do is get people in the door. And then you can kind of do whatever you want. But, with stuff like the breaking rocks, I think the more I did stuff, I realized that people were interested in the personality. I started off like posting videos on Reddit, Smash videos, like Super Spam Bros, where I was basically doing like a caricature version of an annoying player online, or like I did like, oh my God, what did I even call them? Now I forget. Oh yeah, Inside the Mind videos for like Overwatch and stuff. So that, and like those were all super, super, super formatty. But then I realized like, wait a second, why do I need the format, right? Like I started to want to do different kind of variations of the same thing. And maybe technically a lot of my videos could be called a This Is Video Now, but I was like, I don't really know if I want to lock myself into this one series. And the second that I don't, and it does okay, it is basically the okay sign for me to like segue into kind of other stuff. So I think it was like, I started out very, very kind of formulaic with my titles and thumbnails in a way that everything was very defined. It was part of a series. It was part of whatever. And then as I went on, the people from one series would come back to another, and the people from that would come back to the next, and they'd do better and better. And I was like, wait a second. People aren't here because the game is bigger. People are here because of the spin I'm putting on it. Okay, let's just try bullshitting a little. And that's kind of what happened for me, at least.
Can I chime in on this one, Kevin?
Yeah.
I want your perspective.
Yeah. So I've done some seminars in different places about getting started on YouTube and all that stuff. And what you described, Kevin, with that, like get a format down, get a predictable video publishing schedule down, so everybody knows that your videos are coming out Tuesday at 4 p.m. Like that mattered a while back, and I think you're right that it doesn't matter as much now. However, that is insanely useful for the individual making the videos to get in a production groove. I don't think it's useful anymore on like the algorithm on the exposure side. I mean, you got to put stuff out, but like we just talked to Mudahar last week for 7 or 8 hours. And
oh my God.
It really was it was like 3 hours. It was insane. But, you look at his videos, he is super popular. Everybody who follows him loves everything he does. One video can be like tier list of my farts for the last 72 hours. And the next video is like, let's deep dive into international law regarding crypto scams.
Right.
There's obviously a mismatch on format between his topics, and it doesn't matter because he's got a good repertoire with the audience. And he also has his own production stuff down. And so I still do think that like some formatish type thing is necessary, almost like training wheels to get you into actual production as a creator. And like some people like I know we've talked about formal training stuff being, not that useful, but like Kevin, you knew what it was like to produce stuff because you did some of that in college. Talking to Ted, he did a fair bit. Slimecicle, you did, actual production stuff in college as well that had nothing to do with YouTube. You got a sense of what it was like to work with other people, to publish on, to meet deadlines, stuff like that. I think there's still a place for kind of developing your skills to be comfortable with that.
Here's also what I'll say on that, because I think you brought up a lot of important points. One of the things that I've noticed a lot is getting yourself to set deadlines and like having a self-discipline at all is super, super important. And college is, what I've noticed, is one of the best things at teaching you that. Maybe it's because a lot of the people I talked to went into programs specific to whatever YouTube stuff they were going to do. I personally did broadcast media production, doing live stuff, working on a TriCaster, and then doing like news projects out in the city or whatever. But I have noticed a substantial difference between the people that have done that sort of program and the people that have gone straight from like high school to, YouTube or whatever, just in workflow and in terms of like having themselves sort of put together in a way that they will be successful long term. There's a lot to be said about it. Yeah, I think you put it best.
No, that's a good point. And that's something that we have brought up a couple of times on this podcast is that people should get bad jobs. Like people should like, if you want to be a YouTuber, go wash dishes for a while. Seriously, like go get some job where you have to show up. You have to do something that you don't want to do. And then you leave at a certain time and you don't give up after a week or two or a month or two. You do that. And I agree with you about the college thing too, because Matt and I have talked a lot about that, how expensive it is and should people go to college and for what and why, what reasons. And you're right. Sure. I agree with you in terms of the social element. I always found really important. The social element, and also using it as a means of like understanding yourself better. Oh God, as soon as those words are coming out of my mouth, I just wanted to vomit.
I'm in a core class again.
What was like happened to
you? The grossest thing I've ever said. Let me rephrase that.
I've known you like 20,
I already went to
25
college.
or 30
you don't
years,
need to sell
Kevin.
us on it.
I've literally almost known you 30 years, and that might be the lowest point of friendship with you, is what you just said.
I know.
On my episode, nonetheless. On the episode where I come on as a guest.
It's like that would be like some sort of quote, like on like a pastel image of a flower field or something like that.
This is a live, laugh, love podcast now.
Strike that flower field quote. And
can I be laugh? Who wants to be live and who wants to be love?
We should do live, laugh, and lust. Just kick it up
that's
a
fun one.
Yeah.
No.
But no, Kevin, that sentiment is completely accurate, though. So, like, we're ripping on you, but you're not wrong.
I was ripping on myself. As soon as it came out, I was like, that was the lamest way to put that. What I meant to say,
I thought it was really poetic, man.
You should know what you suck at. You have to be able to know what you suck at by gauging yourself against seeing other people who are really good at a thing that you will not be good at. Or conversely, knowing that you're really good at this one thing and better than everybody around you. You don't get that sense when you're at home, like just in your basement.
You should know what it's like to force yourself to wake up and just like do a sucky thing for however many hours. That's the truth of it. Because a lot of people that do, especially like TikTok now, probably have not had the shitty deli job that, for instance, Schlatt very much likes to talk about. Situations like that, as cliche as it is, as much as he brings it up, it's kind of true to an extent. I mean, like, you need to have something that teaches you like a baseline of almost what's expected for a lot of jobs ordinarily, and like the kind of shit that you have to go through. So you at least have a better baseline of like, maybe you don't do exactly that to yourself, but sort of what you should be doing, or because it is hard to tell when you're just in your room looking at a screen. Yeah.
This is something I've always wanted to talk about. In 100 episodes, we kind of haven't. We've flirted with it, but this is the inability to do what both of you are talking about, and to understand that you have to do shitty things sometimes, and you have to meet deadlines and all of this stuff. The inability to do that when you don't know how and you haven't been exposed to it, that's where a fair bit of the YouTubers' mental health. I'm burned out, this and that, VidCon and YouTube and everybody else has talked about for years. Well, yeah, I mean, look, when we sent people off to war in the 40s, we at least put them through basic training before we shoved a gun in their hands and threw them in a trench. Mm-hmm. You've got to have some experience with it, and it's not at all crazy to think, oh, somebody gets wildly popular, there are now expectations on the content they make. They really haven't been in a situation where they have to meet deadlines. They have to do creativity or creative work on somebody else's terms for the first time. That's really, really difficult to do. And if you don't have exposure to that beforehand, you very well could, ratchet up things like depression and stress and frustration. It's really tough.
Dude, I think overnight success is the enemy of mental health, personally.
I don't know anybody who's ever said, this was the best thing to ever happen to my psyche.
For sure.
At best, it's like, here's how I tolerated it. Jack Manifold, talked about that since his success was so fast. We asked him questions like, what was that like? Everybody else does this over like 12 years. You did it in 12 months and, you're not terribly old. And he talked about what was hard and what wasn't, and how he's responded to it. I think he seems to have dealt with it better than probably anybody we've ever talked to. But it's hard for anybody, and nobody is like, oh, this made my life awesome.
Right.
Jack Manifold is like an outlier, though. He's a unicorn.
Oh, yeah.
He is so wise beyond his years. It's like frightening. I told him at the end of that podcast, like, I can't wait to work for you in 5 years. Please hire me, Jack. But
it's funny,
an outlier.
Is a lot of people in that group, maybe not all of them, but like I've talked to Tommy a lot about this kind of thing, and the dude is way more mentally mature than he should be, which is very surprising in this field because I've met a lot of people older than me that aren't, you know what I mean? And so I'm very glad that a lot of these people that are getting big and that are doing stuff for mostly younger kids, right, are in that headspace. It makes me very happy, at least.
Why do you think that is? Like, do you think that developed as they kind of picked up and they just responded to it really well, or did kind of their success happen because they had that ability going into it?
I can't speak for Jack, but I know in the case of Tommy and a few others, a lot of it is parents and like having a support system and having people to ground you, and you know what I mean, and to sort of keep you humble and keep you thinking about what you're actually doing and what it entails. But I think it's really, really good to have a few grounding presences in your life with this job. Like, it is very nice to have friends that are not, doing the same work. Because it really is just like, it is a different world, and it obviously becomes an echo chamber. Because it's hard to have, like a mental health professional on influencers when it's so fucking volatile and all over the place. Yeah.
What sort of things do you do to kind of, unplug from internet life and go unplugged in Charlie life?
So there's a couple. First thing is that I've never been burned out, but I am very much a symptom of how my parents are, in a way that I will just absolutely focus on something and do it nonstop until it's complete. And then between those ridiculous projects that I choose to do, there's a couple things. One is I have 2 guinea pigs as of a few months ago. And I literally will just take time, unwind, and play with them. And I give them lettuce, and they crawl over me, and it's great. They're Mochi and Fern. Mochi has a respiratory infection right now, so I need to put her in a bag every morning and night and give her medicine, which is kind of fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, it's so you put them in, you need to grab them first, which is difficult because they're a guinea pig. and they're like 8 months old. So they run faster than you think that a little rat like them can. And then you manage to snag them and you pick them up, right? And I put her in the bag. And then you need to take her face because it's an oral medication because the vet says, oh, it's simple. You just put the syringe in your mouth. Simple my fucking ass. This goddamn rodent, I try and like take her face and she's got like paws out, just slamming them everywhere. She's gotten a couple nibbles on me every once in a while. But then you have to like lift up her face and put the thing in her mouth and pray she doesn't slap it out because she's now learned like she has object permanence to a sense where she has realized she has hands and she can slap the syringe out of mine. And so you have to hold her back and like hold her up in this bag and give her the medicine. And then I give her a treat afterwards and she crawls out. But they're great.
I have a question about this. Would you, it goes back to the would you rather give oral medication via syringe to the mouth of Ted or Jay Schlatt? Who would you rather medicate orally?
Schlatt. Absolutely no question.
Why?
Ted is a very angry man.
You could just tell him it's milk, though.
But he'd know.
You could lie to him.
That is a very angry man.
I wouldn't want the liquid to get in Jay Schlatt's facial hair. I mean, then you've got a mess. You don't know how much leaked out.
You don't need to tell him,
a little flexibility.
No, Ted is like, he would be snapping at it. You know what I mean? Like, he's the snapper. He's the biter. I think Schlatt would very much... I mean, I think that I could orally medicate Schlatt. I hope that just gets clipped and posted everywhere. He sends me it a week later. He's like, what is this about, man?
It's about exactly what you think. Can I ask you more about this guinea pig bag? Do you have to close the guinea pig in the bag and like hold the bag closed?
So it's really funny you mentioned that. It isn't like a Ziploc bag or anything. It's just like this little felt bag. But with Mochi, like some days you don't have to keep it closed, but some days she'll be upset at you. And so you just give her a minute to calm down. And so what you do there is you close the bag and you put her in darkness and you say nothing until she calms down and then you open it back up. And you're like, all right, let's go. Yeah. So I'll just be like, hush now. And I do feel like I'm smothering a child when I do it. You know what I mean? Like it does feel a little sinister, but it's also like, you know, you got to take your medicine. It's kind of like if to give a kid a shot, you put a pillow over their head first.
Oh my gosh.
But it's not really. I mean, it's more just like guinea pigs are very, 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 like if they see something, they think it's a bird and it's going to eat them.
What?
So,
everything's a bird?
Everything's a bird. Like you can't move fast around a guinea pig. You can't sneeze. You can't cough because they'll get very, very scared and they'll run away and they'll just hide for like, 10 minutes or whatever. So when you have one in a bag, it's very much like, something's coming in from above them. So they just need time to calm down. I usually just put lettuce in the bag and then close it. So she forgets everything except darkness and lettuce. And then she's happy. And then I open it up and give her medicine.
Food first. Food first.
Oh, they're very much
that kind of pressure, though, has like a massive body of scientific evidence supporting it. That I think at one point, like 2 years ago, we talked about Temple Grandin, this woman who did a fair bit of animal science stuff. She invented a thing called the hug machine, and it relaxed her to go into this machine that basically applied pressure on both sides. And that's kind of like where weighted blankets came from, that people feel relaxed when there's some pressure, like swaddling a baby, making the burrito with like a cat or dog to give it pills. Everything you just described, like it sounds kind of weird and restrictive, but it actually pretty much makes every living thing at ease, provided it's not like crushing pressure.
You know what's really funny about that? Guinea pigs are like one of the few animals that when they grow up, they like stop cuddling, and most of them absolutely can't stand being held. It's very weird. It's very rare to find a guinea pig that enjoys being held. There are some that'll like tolerate it and stuff. But for whatever reason, I think it has to go along with being like a prey animal or something. I think they just probably mentally have evolved to compare it to being in the talons of a falcon. And as much as I try to convince my guinea pigs that birds aren't real, I think they know deep down that they are. That's what I'll say to her. I'll put her in the bag and I'll just be like, it's okay, but like birds aren't real. Shh, 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 shh.
Kevin, this sounds like one of your videos.
It does. And I love that in the chat, Ben wrote that the 11th commandment is now everything is a bird. I was just thinking that it's amazing to me guinea pigs have survived. I don't know how long they've been on this old, planet Earth we have here, but like, what is the survival mechanism of a guinea pig?
Run.
Aside from hiding. Yeah, but like, I don't know. It's just like,
So here's the thing. They travel in herds.
So chubby.
They travel in like herds of 10. In fucking South America, and like actual wild guinea pigs just look like brown rats, kind of. I mean, that's sort of it. So I don't know, like maybe half the rats you see are just guinea pigs. But like domesticated guinea pigs, they got domesticated so long ago. I don't even know, like the ones with patterns that you see now of various different breeds.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's like, because like with rats and with mice, it's just a numbers game, right? There are a billion of those things, and then they reproduce, splendidly. I wonder if guinea pigs are the same way. Do they just make so many other guinea pigs that you can't eat them all? Like hawks can't get all of them?
I'm looking up how many guinea pigs exist. There's at least 5 million. So not as many.
5 million? Where?
That can't be right.
Seems like there'd be more than that, right?
Yeah, that's not that many.
That's just household, I think. How many?
That makes more sense.
How many
guinea pigs?
How many? Oh, I've looked up how many guinea pigs exist. Okay, that can't be right. There's none in the wild.
What?
Guinea pigs were apparently domesticated more than 3,000 years ago in Peru, coinciding with humans' transition from a nomadic to agricultural lifestyle. So guinea pigs were the catalyst. That's how we can all sit down in front of a computer now. Otherwise, we'd just be hunting bison, man. Apparently they coincide with the transition, dude.
Wait, so there are only pet guinea pigs and food, because guinea pigs are also eaten, I know, in certain areas of the world.
Yeah, they are.
But that's it?
That can't be right, though,
Guinea
right?
full of them.
That can't be right. Is it? What? There's got to be at least one.
The Last Guinea Pig. That
Just
sounds like a
somewhere.
graphic novel. It's like
yeah, it's
some sort of anime.
The most important thing you can do to boost your creative career is to get to know other people. It's not weird, emotionless networking. It's just kind of becoming fans of what other people do and keeping up with them professionally. You really should be on LinkedIn, even if you're just lurking and following along. It's where the creative jobs are, and if you're hiring, you need to be doing the exact same type of networking to get familiar with the candidates who are out there. If you've got a company that creatives want to know a little bit better, get on LinkedIn and start posting your jobs. There are over 750 million people on LinkedIn, and a whole lot of them are eyeing their next opportunity. Post a job, find the candidates with skills that fits, pop a few screening questions in to narrow it down to the very best, and bam, interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates worth interviewing and faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/create. That's linkedin.com/create to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. There is nothing to lose here. At the least, hop on the platform and get familiar with it. If you don't need it right this second, you will eventually. linkedin.com/create.
The G-Force sequel.
Okay, originally native to South America. Yeah, species no longer exists in the wild.
Wow.
Huh. So there must be some rogue guinea pigs that have gone off the grid and are doing okay.
There has to be. There's no way we got them all, right?
The lost tribe of guinea pigs deep in the rainforest.
In Peru, there's a little cadre of guinea pigs that's still just wild as hell. I don't know what they do differently, but
anyone that's seen them does not make it out of the jungle.
That's why nobody knows where they are.
They just swarm you like that ant scene in Indiana Jones. Just get all over.
That's awesome. So you're a guinea pig father. Anything else that you do to kind of ground yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I have a girlfriend, Grace. I just got back from going on a date with her, trying to guess. My birthday's tomorrow, and she says she's doing something for it, and so I've been interrogating her all day to try and figure out what. But that's really helpful, honestly. Like, just having her around, and having something, like she works, like a marketing job, and does some work for basically a college. She graduated with a pro writing degree. She's super, super talented, very, very smart. Honest, just incredible. But she's in a completely different world than I am, and it's really nice for her to like, just pull me out of mine every once in a while, just go do something normal. That's probably the big one for me. I'm really bad at like self-medicating, getting away from work. I'm really bad at it. It's like one of the areas that I'm trying to work on, but I'm very much workaholic. So I have started, I've started seeing a therapist as well recently, and that's been good.
I have noticed the workaholic thing once I figured out like the 9th podcast that you have. I'm like, this is a busy guy.
You know what's funny is that I feel like I see more of like, when's the next main channel upload? Like he forgot to log in again. Like that's the stuff I see. I never see this stuff addressing, that I've got Just Roll With It and Chuckle Sandwich. And we actually do 2 campaigns on Just Roll With It. One for Patreon. And then, the main channel and the second channel. It's a lot, but I like it.
Are there Slimecicle stands out there who are upset that you have a girlfriend?
Dude, I hope not. And if there are, fuck them, man. I mean, like, I don't know what to say. I will say that has been a very, very weird thing to experience because I've grown my audience really slowly, right? So having the influx of people with Slimecicle profile pictures is like, wow, this is not how things used to work. It's kind of weird. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have to deal with it as much as other people though. Like I don't, below my tweets usually it's not mostly that shit.
Who has the worst stands in Chuckle Sandwich?
Probably Schlatt. Probably Schlatt. Yeah, even though he's like been the most vocal against it for sure. Probably still Schlatt. Which is weird, right? Like it seems like he would breathe the opposite of it, but I think there's some sort of weird paradox there.
They seem to like being abused by him over their standum.
They definitely, Jay Schlatt and Stans definitely have a very abusive relationship, for sure. Like both ways. Yeah, no, I don't know. The shit that he has to deal with, though, from people online is just so obnoxious. I've been very fortunate to not have to deal with any level of that stuff. I haven't seen people really being weird about me that much online.
Yeah. For anybody listening, that is not a challenge.
I was literally just gonna say also that is not an invitation to be weird. I'm very much happy that I haven't had that problem. Yeah. So please don't. It's good. Yeah, I don't know. The whole stand thing is still very, very weird to me. Just because I'm like, I grew up as kind of just like a lurker on a lot of the people I like, right? I tried never to even interact with the people I like. I just kind of watched them. And that was how I perceived things to work in the sphere, right? Like I just watched a donkey video. Like I didn't even like it or whatever. I enjoyed it. But I didn't interact with it. And so sometimes I forget that people do that because the way I engage with content is so very like passive.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like the history of the stand thing, and it just seems like it cannot possibly be a modern phenomenon, but it seems like it is, and I don't really know why or how. I
wish there was a precedent for it, right? Like I wish there was some comparison we could draw, but it's so goddamn weird. And I mean, I think it's a very like Twitter centric problem. This is at least what I've seen. And I think it's just easy on Twitter. Like Twitter kind of promotes that sort of behavior. They recommend it to you, and then you end up with big circles of people that can kind of do whatever. And I don't know.
I mean, that's been around forever, though. I mean, like where something is so important to you that it means so much to you that you get in deep. And I mean, from the classic footage of girls in the front row of the Beatles and Elvis Presley performances, right, like murdering each other to try to like get a sniff of the sweat. But it even goes further back from that. And like, this isn't exactly the same thing, but there are two syndromes. One of them is called Jerusalem syndrome, where people get really in their own heads and sometimes delusional in kind of a religious way after a visit or during a visit to Jerusalem. And a similar thing has been documented in Paris, oddly, almost entirely by Japanese tourists, called Paris syndrome, where they're just overtaken by, they expect this massively romantic, beautiful place, and it's like it doesn't hit for them, and it absolutely crushes them mentally. And if you think cities can do this to people, then what about somebody who you can kind of track all day long? You can watch their stuff, you watch their streams. If they're not making content, then you can see them on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok. Mm-hmm. You know, like you could get really invested there and kind of go to a place mentally that you otherwise wouldn't go.
I think that's true. I think the gateway drug there as well was obviously the pandemic. I think that's...
Oh, you think that made it much worse?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because I think ordinarily where it would have been a facet of your life and something you check in on, you know, after whatever, when the pandemic's going on, that kind of probably became a lot of all of what these people had. And I think once they hooked in, you know, on Twitter and social media and whatever, I think that's kind of where it...
Sorry, I'm laughing about this Paris syndrome thing. I don't mean to interrupt, but I can't get over this. So Paris syndrome is basically you go to Paris and find out that it sucks and you start throwing up.
Wait, what?
Because it sucks so much compared to like
God.
What you thought it was going to be?
Psychosomatic manifestations such as dizziness.
The strangest thing to me is that it's primarily with people from one country. That is so odd to me that you're like, okay, people from Japan are more likely to have this happen than people from Canada. I don't understand why that exists, but it does. And Kevin, like you said, there's physical illness associated with it.
When Dream went to prison, I derealized and vomited for 6 hours.
Yeah. Like, if you don't think human beings are weird, please look up Paris syndrome on Wikipedia. Read that entry and get back to me.
How many times has this been documented?
How many stupidest, strangest, but real thing that Japanese people go to Paris and like 5% of them start hallucinating and throwing up because it sucks compared to this romantic vision of it that they had.
But the interesting thing
is weird.
The interesting thing with that is I guarantee it's not Paris, right? It's whatever the preconception was that wherever they live in Japan gave them. So I wonder what the equivalent would be like with what we're sort of talking about with stance. I don't know.
Yeah, they do develop an image, a mindset, a picture of just everything that for whatever reason is a little bit different from reality.
Charles Kahn says that he knows somebody that did this in the chat now. He says he knows a girl from West Virginia who went to Paris and freaked out about like how much it sucked.
Yeah. As Charles Kahn says, it is not just Japan. It just is overwhelmingly Japan.
I see. Someone also said West Virginia is the Japan of the U.S. What the fuck does that mean?
I met people in Israel who had kind of lighter cases of the Jerusalem syndrome, but that you can, it makes a little bit of sense because you're like, okay, the religiosity element is a little different psychologically than some of this other stuff. But there's also Stendhal syndrome, which is flat out losing your shit and experiencing like a scalp to toenail life orgasm because of the beauty of something art related. And for Stendhal, it was
wait, how do you spell that?
Stendhal. And let's see, I don't remember exactly where.
Stendhal, I see.
Stendhal, yeah. Yeah, he went to Italy and
Florence,
saw works by saw the burial site of Michelangelo and Galileo. He just lost his shit and it just mentally overtook him. And honestly, haven't we seen that happen at VidCon? We have with, in years past with some of like the Logan Paulish type influencers that have a lot of kids. Like there are kids who are like hyperventilating and shit because they see somebody they really, really like 500 feet away.
Yeah. I did hear a story once from somebody I know who went to one of the museums, famous museums in Europe. And I don't know if it was the Louvre or what, but anyway, they said there was some painting there that they looked at for 2 hours because they couldn't stop looking at it because of it. Probably was this Stendhal syndrome thing. They just got like entranced literally by the beauty of this painting, and just like 2 hours later, I guess, like woke up and was like, "Oh, I gotta go."
Damn, I wish I had the capacity to appreciate art enough to just like look at a Picasso and then just hallucinate. I guess I don't know. That's that's interesting. I mean, it is kind of like I'm sure I would get, I don't know, like faint of breath and shit if I met someone that, you know, I was very like inspired by. But I also, I don't know, I think that's just, I wouldn't like hallucinate, you know what I mean? It's like,
well, nobody thinks they're going to until they do.
That's true.
Right. That's the syndrome. You're powerless over this.
Oh my God,
going to push you over the edge?
No.
Who's going to make this happen for you?
Me?
Who's going to push you over the edge?
Oh, dude.
Yep.
Who would push me over the edge? I don't know. I think one of those ones of, I have a category, I feel like, of people that I don't really want to meet because I really like their stuff. And it's like, I'm cool. I'm content with just that. Like, I don't really want to be in the same room with them or I don't know. It's kind of a difficult balance between I want to pick their brain, but also I kind of like where they are at now. Like mentally for me, like, and I don't really want to build it up any more than that. Probably, I mean, I have always liked Bo Burnham's stuff. So that would probably be up there. Trying to think who else. I guess Obama would be pretty cool, but that would just be because he's Obama, you know. Then I could be Kevin, like, I met Obama.
For you, because I know on one, I can't remember the episode, but you told the story of losing your shit with Steve Buscemi.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. No, you know what? That's such a good example of Matt, what you were saying about how like you don't know until it's happening to you. I did not know I would lose my mind over seeing Steve Buscemi. Like I have seen a solid handful of celebrities in person, and have never been like that awestruck. But for some reason, with Steve Buscemi of all people, I saw him just walking down the street one day in Brooklyn, and I lost my mind. I stopped him literally in the middle of the road. In the middle of the road, we were just standing there, and I made him stop. And I'm such like a doofus. All that came out of my mouth was, "You're Steve Buscemi." That's what I said. That's what I said to Steve Buscemi. "You're Steve Buscemi." That was my amazing.
And was he?
Yeah, he goes, "Yeah," in his like squirrely Steve Buscemi way. He's just like, "Yeah," and I mean, it definitely was him. You can't like not know. Steve Buscemi is Steve Buscemi. Nobody else looks like him. So that was it. I just said, "Wow, like I'm a big fan. Like I love your work or your movies or something like that." And he was just like, "Thanks." And that was it. And we like, nice. I said, have a nice day. And we like went our separate ways. But I did lose my mind a bit there over Steve Buscemi.
Do you think it was the headspace you were in at the time, or was it just the pure Buscemi effect?
It was early morning. I was literally walking to a deli to just get a bagel for breakfast. It was the last thing that I expected to happen. So yeah, there was probably some like odd combination of that scenario where it broke my brain. It just broke my brain to see Steve Buscemi in the middle of the street on my way to get a bagel.
You weren't ready for the Buscemi, man. I can get that.
No. It's not like I went to a meet and greet.
Buscemi
I felt my chest tighten. This is kind of the only one that comes to mind when I first got to talk to Pete Weber. Now, if anybody knows any sports, you'll remember Pete Weber, the bowler who, when he won the U.S. Open, he got a strike when he needed to win, and he screamed at the other guy, "Who do you think you are?" "I am," which doesn't make any sense at all. But became an amazing moment because it's just like the ultimate celebration shit talk of bowling. It's like the clip is amazingly famous. And and I'd seen him before several, like 3-4 times in my life, but I'd never actually talked to him. And then as an adult, when I finally did, and it was even before the "Who do you think you are" moment happened. It was like the year before that. So it didn't even have that juice on it. But yeah, I was like in a normal conversation with him at a bar, and I remember like having my chest tighten up, and I'm like, shit, I think I'm actually nervous. Like, I think I care about this exchange in a way that I really haven't with anybody else before.
Well,
that's the only time I think I had Pete Weber syndrome, which I can't be the only one who's ever had it.
No. That's why I was going to say, I need everybody to look up Pete Weber. Who do you think you are? I am. Because you haven't lived. You haven't. Like, Charlie, if you haven't seen this,
I gotta say it.
Anyone who's listening who has not seen this, you're a different person
so good.
After you see this clip. And a better person, I should say. Not a different person. You're a better person after watching Who Do You Think You Are? I Am. It will improve your life.
It's time for me to change then. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm watching it right now. He's going in for the movement. There he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Smooth play all the way down. Curves it. Nice. Let's see what he does next. The way he says it too, like it's such an angry like defiance, but I'm like, of what?
Yeah.
It is.
That's beautiful.
It's like
apparently he was trying to say like, so the guy he was going against is very popular and well liked. You know, he's a great, nice guy, and everybody knows it too. And Pete was kind of angry that the crowd wasn't with him. Pete's one of the best of all time. And he just was like pissed that he's in this title match and wasn't getting that kind of respect. And so apparently that reaction was meant to be like, why are you rooting for him? I'm the best. And then it somehow came out as, who do you think you are? I
am. Which is so much better.
It is so much better.
Well, if that didn't get the crowd on his side, I don't know what would.
It's so much better because it's just such a guttural, like nonsense response.
The crowd just looks at each other. They're like, he is.
He is.
He is.
You know, for all of you virgins out there, and we know that's roughly like 94% of our audience, when you finally get over that, when you finally get over that bar, you need to scream, "Who do you think you are? I am," at the immediate conclusion of the act.
Yes. No, don't do that. That's horrible, revolting advice. Charlie, I want to ask you about cereal because we spent a long time with Schlatt and his obsession with cereal, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch he won't touch with his fingers. It got weird quickly with him and the nuances of his cereal obsessions. Do you have your own like hard lines that you draw when it comes to cereal? And if not, is there like another food item where you feel strongly about?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Cereal's bullshit, guys. I'll just tell it how it fucking is. Cereal's bullshit. Cereal's great if you go over to a friend's house and they happen to have some Lucky Charms and you look at them smugly and you're like, okay, I got to get out of here. I'll take a quick goddamn bite. Otherwise, I'll tell you what it is. Online, you can find an egg sandwich maker for like $20. You buy one of those, and every goddamn morning what I do is I wake up and I take an English muffin, whole wheat, baby. I break that shit in half. I put one half in. I put the cheese in there. I fold it over so it fits. I put the turkey or the ham or whatever I want. I put down the second plate. I crack a goddamn egg. I salt it, and I put the other half on. I sit like 4 minutes. Ding. I open it back up. Fucking perfect. And there's still people out there arguing, oh, Frosted Flakes or Fruit Loops? You're a fucking joke, dude. Be a real boy, okay? Eat a fucking egg. That's what I have to say.
This is the closest thing to like a racist rant we've ever had on this podcast. It's that damaging.
Yeah, I'll say it. I'm racist against cereal. Okay?
Cerealist.
Though if I didn't have to pick, I'd choose Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran?
Okay, so how does that choice rise to the top? Because when you made this this tier list in the tweet. You have everything. What is it? It looks like about 40 cereals that you've ranked. It's got all the good ones. It's got
I don't care
Fruity
about the
Pebbles
tier
and
list. I
Reese's
care
Puffs.
about the fucking facts, man. All right? And the
But
fact
how does Raisin Bran become the
for
best?
some reason, my heart sputters joy when I put Raisin Bran in my mouth. When I get that, just that little bit of sugar they sneak onto the flake, all right? And when I eventually get to a bite with a raisin in it, or dare I say two, oh, goodness me.
It's like a lottery win for your mouth.
So much
isn't
it is. And never would I ever go for a box of raisins in the grocery store. Ew, raisins. But what's that? Raisin Bran? A gamble.
Do you not value shelf life at all? Because you're talking about the eggs and these things that kind of go bad pretty fast. The best thing about cereal is that it's dry, grain-based.
Cereal goes bad
like
as soon as it's made. Fuck you.
That is not true. No, 100 years ago, people were like, yes, Sears Roebuck catalog. I'd like 50 pounds of cereal because it's going to last. It's going to sustain them. And here you're saying, I'm going to make this egg thing.
Do you want to survive or do you want to live?
They're going to rot in my fridge.
That's really the question here. Do you want to scurry by? A rat could live off cereal, but a rat wouldn't make himself an egg sandwich every morning. All right. And you know what else? You do in there? You do some goddamn yogurt and you put some berries in that shit. You make yourself a little handheld parfait and you're set.
I had yogurt and granola for lunch today.
In the egg sandwich, you put yogurt?
You don't put yogurt in the egg. Are you listening to yourself now?
Whoa.
What's happening?
Did I mishear that? Did you say to put yogurt on the egg sandwich?
No, I didn't say yeah. Okay, listen. You have the egg sandwich on one side. On the other side, you bring out the yogurt, Greek, and you stir it up. Yep. You put some blueberries in there. You cut up some strawberries. Maybe you even get a little bit of granola. Dump it in the same thing. All right? The crumbs that fall over, you snag them up, you eat them. That's the closest to cereal I'll get, you know?
How diverse is your kitchen? Because this, I'm sensing breakfast privilege here.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's this, but every day. I make one choice in the morning, and if if I want cherry or peach yogurt. Otherwise, it's kind of the same. I actually do have a cereal box in my pantry right now, but it's only because my girlfriend brought over cereal to snack on and then accidentally left it here. I just want to say I have no record of any receipt on any purchase I've made recently of having such a thing.
You're so ashamed of cereal in your house that you have to literally blame somebody else.
And I think that, and I think you should be, frankly. It's just, I just cereals. It's just not fulfilling. I mean, like, sure, it's
true.
good in the same way that, like cocaine is, where it's like a nice little high for a second, but don't overdo it. And in about 30 minutes, you're going to just be looking for your next high, right? That's how I feel when I have a goddamn, look at the stuff on this list. You people are fucking crazy. Oreo O's? Are you insane? Frosted Krispies? Are you listening to yourselves? Jesus. Crave chocolate? Chocolate.
Why wouldn't you want to wake up with that, though? You're like, oh, no, I'll eat something that a chicken crapped out. No, how is that better?
That shit's, it's because it's good. That came from the earth, man, where the chickens came from the earth. Cookie Crisp?
Where did Cookie Crisp come from?
Look at that like addict on the fucking carton of Cookie Crisp. That he looks out of his mind. What does it say that like look at the Cocoa Puffs mascot? Do you want to end up like him? This is, you don't want to end up cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The Trix mascot. Wait a fucking second. What's wrong with all these people, right? Yeah. And
he had a hard life.
It is. Really is. Apple Jacks. One of them is racist, and I don't really know what else to say. You know?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why the trope in cereal mascots and cereal advertisement in which like children will not allow the mascot who loves the cereal to have the cereal? Like, why is that a thing? And where did that come from? Don't you find that odd? Like the Trix rabbit, right? He's not allowed to have it. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
Trix are
why
for
is the
kids.
Trix
Like, you
rabbit
can't
trying to
have
raise
this.
your kids? And he's not even doing a good job. This is what I don't understand, is that like these are, it's like they put this idol in front of you, this weak mascot, and then they also at the same time put these kids that you're supposed to project as, but they're all assholes.
They're mean. Yeah, like why is preventing this lovely, like pleasant rabbit from getting some of this cereal, which you're purported to, wanting to promote and love? Why is that a good thing? Why does that make you want to buy the cereal?
I
so
know.
that you can be a jerk?
You don't
What's
have
the
this
lesson?
problem with eggs, right? You don't have this problem with eggs because it comes out of the chicken and that's that. And then it goes to your mouth.
They can fight you for taking the eggs, though. I mean, some of them don't cooperate. But, Kevin, it's even worse than you described when I think of the fact that for like decades, kids were encouraged to steal cereal from a leprechaun, like outright theft. That was the whole marketing campaign, is it's cool to take a man's cereal. And that was completely okay and encouraged.
Not a man.
It does go
Not
down
a
some
man.
dark paths.
Not a man.
Leprechauns aren't men?
It's not him.
A sprite, a woodland sprite. I don't know what leprechauns are exactly, but yeah, to steal it from him. It's like the only nice mascot was Tony the Tiger. He was encouraging, right?
Was.
Like he
He
was
did
like,
try to
I don't think he was
You know,
that aggressive
yeah.
about it or anything.
he's like, let's slam dunk some basketballs, kids, and
Yeah,
then
let's work out.
and then eat some.
and now let's
Frosted
put
Flakes
this
'cause they're
shit in
great.
your body.
Eat some sugar.
Fucking Tony, man. He was just trying to get close to him. He's the imposter.
Is he still the mascot? Did they cut him out?
Oh, no way they cut him out.
See, I can't tell who's still
Hang on.
there. Like, so you were talking about Cookie Crisp, and somebody showed who's on the box. Didn't it used to have like a burglar, like a guy with like a kind of like the Hamburglar, but for Cookie Crisp?
Yeah.
That was.
There's probably a
Yeah,
reason
we
I
were
don't
kids.
remember
I can't.
that.
I can't keep track of like what's still on cereal.
I see. That can't be right. I looked it up and I see a gnome.
On Cookie Crisp?
What?
That can't be right. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat, but it's just like this gnome guy.
Did Keen get a brand deal for Cookie Crisp?
No.
Sure hope not. Just one more reason.
That's really old. No. When Matt and I were kids, it was this burglar, and the burglar was trying to steal the Cookie Crisp.
Oh, and there was a
And,
police officer that was stopping
Yeah, there was
him.
a cop that was trying to stop them.
Dude, wait,
But
why is
again,
there always
it's like
someone in a
stealing.
why are they all trying to stop? What does
It's
that
all
say about your
stealing.
product? Someone's always trying to fucking stop you from eating it. Maybe you shouldn't eat it. Raisin Bran's not trying to stop you. It's the sun, dude.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, why is theft always involved in cereal marketing?
Because they're stealing a real breakfast away from you.
Is there a food that you would steal and feel good about? Is there something worth stealing where
Egg
you'd be like,
sandwiches.
okay, I've done something bad, but my life has improved enough to justify the
Yeah,
theft?
who would I be stealing from in this situation? Just so I know. Or does it not matter?
I think it can't be somebody awful, because if you're like, stealing cereal from a mass murderer, it's probably a win, right? So let's say like the average person living on
The
your
average
street.
Joe.
Yeah.
Chicken nugget.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where I always want a chicken nugget, but if I get chicken nuggets, or chicken tenders, it's always too many. So just like when I have that craving, just knowing I can get that one, and like he won't miss it.
How many is too many?
Chicken nuggets?
Yeah, let's draw the line.
Probably okay. Here's the thing: is it's very different than the number I will eat is far beyond the too many mark. I think the probably point of no return with chicken tenders is like 6 or 7. That's like point of no return.
Pretty
That's
good.
like you are going to
Pretty good.
probably start to feel gross, and if you keep going, like you might as well just hit the fucking finish line. You know what I mean?
What are you dipping it in?
Personally, honey mustard. How do you guys?
Mm.
I mean, do you guys have like a dip of preference, like a sauce of choice, like a wing or
I like hot mustard.
hot mustard? It's good.
I need the extra boost to just tingle.
To tingle?
What about you,
Yeah.
Kevin?
Yes.
I like a lot of sauces. I like barbecue sauce. I think usually I go for like a sweet and sour for the most part when it comes to like nuggets at a fast food place or something. That's
Yeah,
usually what I
sure,
go
that's
with.
fine.
I like honey mustard for fries a lot.
Oh, I can respect that. You know what I like, guys? Just a good garlic aioli.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, we like aiolis on this podcast now.
Yeah, I love the word aioli, which is just fancy mayonnaise, basically.
Every time I hear the word aioli, my brain has a three-way conflict of interest between the sauce, that one part of the nipple, and like the inside of your lung. Because there's like a part of your it's like the areola is your nipple, and there's like a part of your lung, I swear to God, that like also sounds
alveoli.
Yeah, alveoli. Yeah. And then
the
I hear all
alveoli, like filters.
Every time
clears,
I hear any of those words, I simultaneously associate them with all three concepts. I don't know about you guys.
It's like your Triforce.
Yeah, it is. Just
wow, Laterman has a good comment here in the chat. Is breast milk just aioli?
What?
That's really
it
awesome.
Hits a few of these angles.
Is he in this call right now, listening to this conversation? Yeah. Can we?
He's listening. Yeah.
And can we change that? No. That's it.
We can edit anything.
That's a good point. That is a good point, though.
Yeah, not too many things hit more than one angle, though.
I agree with that. I would be kind of worried if they did. Like, I would be worried if something was multiple at once, right? I don't know.
Some sort of quantum level.
I was going to ask you.
Does ravioli come into this in your mind, or is that immune?
It does when you save it. When you say it like ravioli. Like,
as opposed to what?
I don't know. I just feel like now that we're in the conversational context of talking about this. Wait, what is the nibble one called again? I fucking forgot immediately. Which is aioli and which is aioli is the sauce.
Areola.
Areola. Jesus.
I just want you to order the wrong thing at a restaurant. I just want you to order like nipple juice.
Yes,
oh my God! Yeah,
garlic
mushroom areola.
Please.
Lobster areola.
Like, excuse me?
Oh, I hate this.
No, I love it. It's great. That's a good tweet. That's a really good tweet.
Yeah, you can have it. I give you my permission. Yeah. I had a train of thought and I immediately forgot it. I was going to ask you guys if you had any words like that, and I realized it was such a specific question that you probably couldn't just like have an answer for it.
Oh, words that immediately remind you of other words?
Or words that like you hear it and you always associate it with the wrong thing on accident, or like multiple things.
Wow.
I know it's like kind of a weird one. So
yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that one.
It's okay. This is why you guys are the hosts. All right. This is why you're the hosts.
We're not good at answering questions, Charlie.
Here.
We ask the questions.
And I'm not good at
about
asking them.
Guinea pigs and raviolis. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. So yeah, what do you want? What do you want to know, man?
I did want to ask you another thing. This is such a stupid question, but I don't care.
Yeah, whatever.
Is cleaning the egg sandwich machine annoying every day? Is it like an annoying thing to clean? Because you halfway convinced me to adopt your lifestyle here and eat this egg sandwich every day.
You know what?
At the same time, I'm like, I don't want to clean this thing.
Here's the thing. You know what you're cleaning? You know what you're cleaning? You're cleaning your body. All right, when you have an egg sandwich in the morning. Okay? Because that's all you do when you eat that
diarrhea.
When you eat that Cookie Crisp, all you do is gunking, dude. All you do is you're just gunking yourself up, man.
It's like Teflon covered though. Like everything kind of wipes off.
Anyway, I did completely dodge the question. It is a complete bastard to clean. It's so difficult.
So?
I will say you do need to use the green side of the sponge. Okay, I'm really sorry.
The truth hurts.
So I use one of those too. I have the double, and I was going to say this is one of the easiest things to clean ever.
What?
Wait,
you take the little like the I don't know what you'd call it. Like there's an insert in the middle that separates the egg.
We
and
have the same
so like
one.
that comes out. Yeah, that comes out, goes in the dishwasher, or you just wipe it down in 2 seconds. But like cheese doesn't stick to this thing. Egg doesn't. Like a wet paper towel, you wipe it and it's just done.
You know what I think it is?
What are you doing to your machine?
I've had mine for so long that it's like whatever the nonstick is long gone.
Yeah. Okay.
That's because you're grilling Greek yogurt in it and it gets stuck.
Yeah, I just put different liquids in it and smile. At least it's not cereal, every morning. I feel like for some reason I'm describing my morning routine to you guys, and I feel like the American Psycho right now. Like, like I don't know what it is about this position that I've now doubled down on, but I feel like an absolute nut job.
What's your skincare routine?
Hand soap and friction.
No, I didn't say what you did in your private time. I said, what is your skincare routine?
Hand soap, Jesus Christ. I mean, if this is a serious question, we got sent like a thing for Chuckle Sandwich. I can't remember what it's even called now because it doesn't have the logo on the bottle. And I tried using it like a facial cleaner and then a moisturizer, and then you put on sunscreen. And my skin, I mean, was like the same. So I just kind of stopped. I mean, honestly, I don't do too much. I just kind of like wash my face with a very basic. It's not an ad. It's not an ad. I didn't say the product. Yeah, I don't remember what it was, which I don't know what that says about it. But yeah, I don't know. I tried doing a skincare routine. It didn't really happen. And I've never had like terrible skin or acne or anything. And yeah, I don't know. I will say chocolate is the one thing that makes me break out. I can't eat a lot of it. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say chocolate's the one thing that I like to rub all over my body in order to get moisturized
I actually
fully.
like, regardless of what oil it is, I will bathe myself in it. Yeah.
We have so much food stuff to talk about. You need to gird your loins and prepare for the food questions that are
What do you
coming.
think I've been doing, bro?
He's been girding his
I
loins.
have one
this
that's-
Girding
whole
my
time.
loins this entire podcast.
What is girding your
I
loins?
actually have
I
one.
do not know.
It's just getting ready. A very old way to say, getting your body ready for
It's
whatever's
like
coming
fluffing?
here.
Yeah, but you don't really want to fluff your loins, do you?
I have a food related question though, and it's about one of your videos. It's about the corn video. So,
Okay, yeah, sure.
So in that video, you're holding a can of corn from Food Club. Now, Food Club is a brand that I haven't seen in many, many years. Was that an old can, or did you just like buy Food Club from the store?
So I'm pretty sure what I did was I went to the store. It was the only thing that I put in the cart. And I just looked for the thing that presented the most as being corn. And Food Club ticked that box, man. I'll be honest.
Big and obvious on all the labels.
This is I never expected to be asked this question. I never expected to have to address the kind of corn I was holding. And to be honest with you, I didn't even realize it was Food Club until right now.
Well, hold on.
Food Club used to be carried.
Did you literally just put one can of corn in a shopping cart and then check out with that?
Yeah, so this was for
like a full shopping cart, one can of corn, and then you checked out. Like that happened?
It is a funny visual. I mean, I think it was just like, I think I went in with one of those, like, those handheld baskets where you think you're going to get like less than usual, but like still a couple things. I think I had one of those, but I ended up like having one of those moments where I was like, I kind of don't really need anything right now. I can just come back. So as much as I like the visual, I'll be honest, I don't think it was an entire cart.
Okay. All right. I just needed to know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you do here. You ask the hard-hitting questions, right? So
that's right.
I appreciate you keeping me honest,
Mm-hmm.
People are posting the can of corn
so
multiple
weird.
times, like we haven't now seen it. Like just consistently. I love it.
Well, Food Club was a local brand at the Great American stores, and I don't believe they exist anywhere anymore. And I always associated it with being the store brand of this one specific store. And since those aren't around, like, I don't know, I guess Food Club is distributed elsewhere now. But I'm watching that video, and I'd seen it before, but I'd never really focused properly on the can of corn. Well, this time I did.
It was actually an ad.
When I saw Food Club.
It was actually an ad because they're coming back. My NDA just ended. I'm a Food Club puppet.
Food Club paid you like an $8 CPM, and 22 million views has bought you a house in
They
the
actually
Hamptons.
just paid me $8 and that can. And then they charged me for the can.
Yeah, I knew nobody
they
else
charged
would
me
be
for the can as well, so I only made about $4.
I knew nobody would care about the can of corn, but I still had to ask because just like, when's
cared.
Food Club ever going to pop up again?
I cared.
Never.
This is my one shot, so I had to shoot that
Are you
shot.
a big Food Club stan?
I used to be. I'm a big store brand guy. I don't like, I tend not to go for
really?
the brand name stuff. Yeah, occasionally it is better, but with something like
That's interesting.
Canned vegetables. Canned vegetables, I go with the basic if I get it.
I will say the one thing where if I'm getting beans, if I'm getting baked beans specifically, I always go for Bush's baked beans. I don't know why.
Oh, Kevin.
I don't know why.
Oh, look at what he's done. People are going to think this was prearranged.
And that's because this podcast is actually sponsored by Bush's Baked Beans.
That's right.
Get that
Kevin
tang
did
with
about
your
7 minutes on Bush's Baked Beans.
Yeah.
Well, because of the commercial of like, we all take for granted because we grew up with it at this point. This commercial of this dog who knows the secret to making bush beans, and he's not talking, but then he does talk, and that's the joke. It's the weirdest commercial, and we all just take it for granted as normal. But it's the strangest thing.
Sounds fucking awesome. Hang on.
Right? That's all. I don't have to rehash my Bush's Baked Bean commercial rant. I don't know what episode that was in.
Oh, so you've already said what needs to be said.
I've already said my piece about this.
We need to hold them accountable.
I just wanted it acknowledged that we as a society should understand that commercial is weird.
It's not weird. I think it
is weird.
I think it's a viable way to keep a secret.
Yeah, I mean,
but the dog talks.
There's no way that he knew beforehand.
He didn't know that his own dog could speak English?
Well, hang on.
Probably
hang
not.
on. So
That's ridiculous.
Does he know that his dog can speak, or does he know that his dog has a secret? What does he know?
Oh, maybe
he knows the dog. Oh, yeah. Well,
maybe he thinks he just won't spill the beans.
Oh, it
spill
goes
the
deeper.
Beans.
Oh
it
no!
has layers.
Spill the beans.
Ooh.
All of a sudden, it makes a lot more sense, huh?
It makes so much sense.
Oh
now.
my god!
The dog won't spill the beans. We did it. We cracked the Da Vinci Code. Oh my god!
Yeah, I never thought about that at all.
I'm a different
person. That does make a lot more sense.
What are you going to do with your new life?
I thought you were just. I was booing you because I thought you made some terrible pun, and it didn't even occur to me that you were like linking concepts in a way that has eluded all of us for decades.
I'm like that Charlie Day meme of him like connecting the dots with all the strings and stuff on the board.
But the board is just full of beans.
It's just dogs and beans, and I figured it out.
So happy I'm so happy I was here for this.
This is monumental.
For the turning point.
Yeah, I think that we should go to our patron questions now because it's not going to get any better than this.
Oh, we've clearly peaked.
Yeah, and a reminder, if you're a patron, you can jump in the episode chat and ask questions, have a little bit of exclusive talk. I'm talking about the bean towel I used to have at my desk to get the baked bean juice out of my beard and chest hair, and that's a real story.
Did you have a specific bean towel? Dude, beans are messy when you get them all over.
Yeah, I did. I actually did. Yeah, it was an old bowling towel of mine that I'd repurposed to be the bean towel. But yeah, like I'd eat them straight out of the can, and it just, when you have a big beard and a can of beans, it's just going to go poorly, and that's not something that you should do around other people.
Yeah, I did a video on Red Dead 2 Redemption where I stood in my living room, basically naked all but like some underwear, above like a bunch of trash bags because we didn't want to get beans anywhere. But I put a scrap of cloth on my shoulders so it looked like I was still in costume, and I poured beans on myself, like in like a cowboy like mustache and hat. And it's funny because like the actual shot is fairly tame compared to what it really looked like, which is like me like squatting down to like make sure that the camera could get the shot, just like looking like this like sad nubile like crab just squatting in the living room, just in his underwear over a bunch of trash bags with like a bunch of spare cans of beans on the side. That was a bastard to clean. I wish I had a bean towel then, I will say.
Everybody needs a bean towel, and if you don't think you need it now, you're going to at some point. And if you get caught needing a bean towel and not having one, I'm going to DM "I told you so" to you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. You needed a bean tarp, I think.
Hey, you will have bean sorry. Oh,
I also,
there's one.
I don't think there's anything more blue collar that I can imagine than using your old bowling towel as a bean towel as you eat beans out of a can to wipe your beard.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
It was a different time. It was a very different time. But we do have these food questions. Kevin, are we ready to start?
We're ready. Yeah. Fire away.
All right. This one's from Sheep. What are your thoughts on oatmeal? And I'm intrigued by this because oatmeal is that half cereal, but not really. It's got it's in between the eggs and the
Yeah.
cereal. So,
Um,
what do you
so
think?
I kept oatmeal, like I just bought oatmeal one day when I first moved into my place. And one like week, I don't know what it was. I was really busy and I didn't notice I needed to get groceries. And I was left with just oatmeal. And I basically just ate like Quaker oatmeal for like 3 days. And it was just so much oatmeal. And like I put berries in it and like raisins and stuff. And I tried to like spice it up. There's like oatmeal only gets so good is the problem.
It's a low ceiling.
It's a very low ceiling. Oatmeal plateaus very quickly, and like it's okay. I mean, it's all right if you're looking for that. If you're looking for oatmeal, oatmeal's gonna do it. Otherwise, like I just think it doesn't really. It's kind of just a replacement for an egg, cheese, and turkey sandwich.
The proof of its low
Categorization.
ceiling
Yogurt.
is that there's no artisanal like Williamsburg oatmeal food truck, right?
No,
Doesn't that prove that
Well,
every food
is
has
there?
some sort of like posh version, even like grilled cheese, but oatmeal?
yeah,
I haven't heard of that.
I haven't
Googling
either.
Oatmeal food
I am
truck.
I'm
now
sure I'm
too.
wrong.
I'm looking
I'm
fancy
sure I'm wrong.
oatmeal. So,
It's called the Rollin' Oat.
So there is
This
one.
is
but of
real.
all the things
Yeah,
you
there's
could
at least
take,
one in Hoboken.
of all the things you could take the
Of course there
time
is.
to like prepare, why choose oatmeal? Right? I don't know.
I don't know. The Rollin' Oat. That's not even a good pun. Like food trucks need to have great puns. Like
What
there
would
was
you
a
call
there
it?
was
What are
a
the
How about this
options?
one? Why Oda? Oh, is that what's that?
Oh.
Would you eat there?
one iota.
No. Why Oda?
Why iota?
So it's like like why Iota? Okay.
Oh,
I
this is
tried.
good. Producer Ben suggests that you don't do a truck, you do a boat, and you just call it boat meal. That's not bad.
That's good.
Oh, boat
I like the idea
meal.
of boat meal.
That's
Roving
great.
Oatmeal boat.
But then I don't like people
Yeah.
probably wouldn't get it, and they'd come up and they'd be like, "You guys got sandwiches," and you'd have to explain to them, "No, we just do oats."
Oh, wait. There was. If my memory wasn't so terrible, I would have remembered this before, but somehow it flooded back. There was an oatmeal truck in Portland that had a great name, Haulin' Oats.
Yeah, that's
I like
good.
that.
Haulin' Oats.
That's really good.
I like that.
So
Yeah, our 45 plus demographic is.
I know
laughing
nobody
hard right
listening
now.
gets that reference. That's fine.
No,
But look up Hall and Oats, and
that's good.
they were a kind of a famous musical act in the early 1980s. But yeah, Hauling Oats. That was the name of that truck. So it is possible.
Well, Isaac has been trying to get us to eat this thing for 2 years, and I feel like we have to at VidCon finally. But he wants to know, with your proud stance against cereal, what is your stance on peanut butter on hot dogs? Apparently, this is really good.
Dude, fuck off. All right. Is this? Sorry. No, I didn't realize we were switching back into a comedy podcast, Isaac. Whoa.
No, he's really tried us. He's really suggested that we do this for 2-3 years now, and we haven't. That it's one of those sweet and savory kind of
Isaac,
mixes that
you've
works.
doubled down on hot dogs and peanut butter as your question of
this is
choice for
real.
3 years. That's your material, bro. What are you doing?
That's his state.
Oh, he's got pictures of it. See, look at it. If you can pull up the episode chat, take a look at what he just posted.
It's just brown.
Happy on the 4th of July. On the 4th of July, there's a hot dog in the bun, just slathered with peanut butter.
It's very
Jif.
brown. It's very fecal looking.
It kind
Dude,
of is.
okay, wait. Do you guys
Yeah.
have hot dogs and peanut butter with you right now or no?
No,
I don't.
Damn.
I wish I did.
I have
I'd try
yeah,
it.
I was gonna say I have ham. That's the closest thing I have. Otherwise, I would 100% say right now, let's all do it on 3 and review it.
Hot dog and ham. Yeah.
People do peanut butter and bacon. That's not
Oh, that's
outrageously uncommon. Well, then how is a hot dog
Okay, wait,
sufficiently
yeah.
different
I
from
mean, I've
bacon?
never done peanut butter and bacon, but that's a really fair question. It's not that much of a leap, is it?
Well,
It doesn't
bacon
seem like
has
it.
a salty quality to it. That's different than hot dogs, which is just bologna.
Isaac's gaining ground right now.
But I would try the hot
Yeah.
dog thing. I've been trying to convince Sven Johnson to go to VidCon just so he and I can have a hot dog date. So I think maybe at some point we should have like a collective hot dog date.
Ooh.
And
Sven's great. I love Sven.
Yeah, and we could all try this abomination.
We can all...
that is probably is delicious. I've had peanut butter on a hamburger before, and it's good.
Okay. We could all bring like peanut butter and not tell Sven, and then pull it out at the table, and then like look at him kind of expectantly.
Oh, act normal. Like this is how we all eat our hot dogs.
Yeah. Like we all pull out the peanut butter. We start like working in silence, and we sort of like look up at him like side eye and sort of like up and down like you? Where's
what? You're putting mustard on your hot dog? That's weird.
Peanut butter is yellow.
We put. Where did you get this yellow peanut butter?
Well, bacon pushed us into the next one from Mime. Would you rather have unlimited bacon but no games, or unlimited games, or unlimited games?
You were going to ask the question again. Ask it right this time. Ask it again. I didn't understand you.
Would you rather have unlimited bacon and no games, or unlimited games but no games?
No game, but unlimited games.
Yeah, it's a simple question. Why can't you answer it?
I mean, okay. I can't remember if Schlatt has asked me this on the podcast. I think he did. So what is it? It's unlimited. It's unlimited bacon, but you and no bake. No games.
No games.
So it's no games and unlimited games and no bacon, or you can't have any bacon, but you get no games.
No.
Have you seen those memes that are like utter nonsense? like the whole text is just like random words. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, I feel like one of those. I feel like one of those memes where it's the you know those ones where it's like that one guy that's talking really really fast, and it's like the one guy that's really buff and has a big like chin. I feel like I can see a meme of that where it's like unlimited games enjoyers and no games enjoyers. Some bullshit.
The virgin unlimited games enjoyer.
Virgin unlimited bacon and no games enjoyer. Or or unlimited games, but no games Chad. Like just some absolute nonsense.
What I don't get is how bacon became this thing where it's like, could you imagine not having it?
Well, it is. Like, it is epic.
Yeah,
it is epic.
Pretty easily. Like it's good, but like if it disappeared tomorrow, like life doesn't change for me all that much.
Oh, I would miss it.
I would too.
Pretty hard.
Really?
You know what was? So this is
how often do you have
a
bacon?
Terrible thing to say. I actually had to curtail my bacon consumption because it was too expensive, and
had a problem.
I was eating like 800 calories of bacon.
That's
a day.
a lot,
what?
man.
Yeah.
That's like fucking 40 slices. Bacon's like not a lot.
How many slices?
In each. Bacon's like 50. Bacon's
lot,
like 50 calories a slice. That's a lot of bacon.
I would fill my smoker with bacon and eat it in like 2 or 3 days, and that was probably like 4 pounds of bacon.
Oh my god!
Wow.
But no, one of the weird little
Bacon
joys
Anonymous.
One of the weird little joys that I experienced in life was when I was in Israel. Occasionally, I would have a friend or something who kept kosher entirely, and I would like try to explain what bacon tasted like to somebody who had never had bacon and never would.
How did you describe it?
It's really, really hard to do. I don't remember how I termed it, but it was you've got to describe like the salty and the some kind of crisp, but also kind of chewy. And like bacon is just loaded with contradictions that make it virtually impossible to describe cleanly.
It's like a meaty, thin crouton. No, that's not right. That's not right. No, that's not right. I was unhappy with it the second I said it, though.
Do you think it's closer to a chicken nugget where you have a little bit of crispy and a little bit of chewy?
It's like you can't go up to someone kosher and say bacon is like a chicken nugget. Or wait, could they have chicken? No, I don't know.
I think on that one, chicken's fine.
Chicken's good.
But
okay.
I think the issue is if the breading is happening using milk, then you're mixing milk.
I
see.
Problem.
But
there are probably kosher chicken nuggets. But the fact that there are entire religions where they eat no bacon proves my point. Sorry.
How
No, people can live without it.
There are
can't they?
entire peoples who gather to eat no bacon, and they're doing fine.
Yeah, because they're just playing video games all the time.
They have unlimited video games.
It's easy for them. They made their choice.
That's the trade-off.
How did
Demetrius, though, is...
sorry.
I was going to say, Demetrius is asking about the eggs that go with that bacon. He wants to know what kind of eggs you use, and I'm actually interested in that too, because there are so many different types. But he also wants to know, why isn't it duck eggs, which are the superior egg?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really thought to have duck eggs, except in a situation where I'm at a restaurant and it had like something is very visibly duck egg, and I'm like, I haven't had duck eggs, so I'll try it. Let me go. I'm going to check right now and promote the brand of egg I eat. Hang on. Give me like 5 seconds.
You can just get duck eggs at the grocery store? I don't think I've ever
It's increasingly common.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Episode chat was backing that up.
I have it. It is Nellie's free range.
Oh.
So you're going free range. Are they white
They're
or brown?
They're brown.
Okay.
And Grace's parents have chickens, and they'll just occasionally drop us off a bunch of eggs.
Well, Nellie's free range eggs out of Monroe, New Hampshire. You brag about humanely raised hens. That sounds very cool. You've got large eggs, extra large eggs, jumbo eggs, medium eggs. This is really impressive. So shout out to Nellie's.
I hope I did all right on that question. I hope I'm doing eggs justice. So,
well, there are a lot of types, and white, brown, medium, small. Well, you never see small, do you? They stop at
because they
medium.
don't want to
There's
give
gotta
you
be,
small eggs.
There must be some use for small
I think
eggs.
they've just bred they bred the chickens. Here's the thing: is a lot of like egg dudes have bred their chickens so that they all like do these like fucking homogenous like the white eggs, and then they toss out the ones that don't conform. You can get like blue eggs from chickens. Like you can get all sorts of crazy stuff.
Well, the chat's theory is that small eggs are for small men, and I think
that is also completely valid. So actually, scratch what I said. Big eggs are for big men.
I think we have the final like palate related question. Dr. Uwu wants to know, what do you taste like / what does a Slimecicle taste like?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know which half you want to start with on that.
Okay. I'll try and conceptualize what a Slimecicle will taste like for you, Dr. Uwu. God. I think it would be it's like if you had gelatin but it wasn't fully solidified yet. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like it's Jell-O before it's solid, so it kind of like you try to eat it and it sort of falls off your spoon a little more than you anticipated, and you're like, oh, and you kind of have to like drink it, and then you like try to drink a little but you end up with more because it's like kind of like one big glob. You know what I mean?
It sounds
yeah,
awful.
well, he did ask me what it was like to eat a Slimecicle, so I don't it's like bacon.
Yeah. It is impossible to describe. The two things that cannot be described are bacon and Slimecicles.
Impossible to describe, and unfortunately, as of now, impossible to consume.
Well, we can finally shift gears. Andy wants to know your favorite thing to do in Minecraft.
In what? Sorry, you cut out.
In Minecraft, what's your favorite thing to do in the game?
Close it. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. My favorite thing to do in Minecraft, I actually really, really like, well, first of all, I don't play single player Minecraft or anything. My favorite thing to do in Minecraft is find a really ridiculous mod or combination thereof that has potential for like bits or something, and then just fuck around with friends. I don't really play Minecraft to play Minecraft. I mean, I do enjoy, building shit. I have an upcoming video project where I spent more time than I'd like to admit building stuff for it. But I would say that's my favorite part of Minecraft is the fact that it is such a blank slate for creating like a story with sort of moving parts or where if I wanted to do some weird this is just an example, I guess. Do some weird, like, fucking video in real life where we're dicking around and everyone's a wizard. It'd be kind of difficult to get all this stuff for that. In Minecraft, you can just find a wizard mod and, like, fuck around. I think my favorite part of Minecraft is how freeform it is in terms of how the game operates. And the fact that you can, like, create sort of boundaries for doing like a fun kind of experience, or I guess experience is the right word around a concept. I started out playing Minecraft on a, like, fantasy like role play server, I think. So that's, like, always my favorite part.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was that kind of like D&D campaignish, or was it like a new thing?
I didn't know what D&D was back then, and to be honest, I didn't really know how to roleplay either. So I kind of came in and I had to apply for it and everything. Like, I had, like, to make an application on a forum.
Oh, wow.
It was called. Let me see if I can find it. If I remember correctly, it was called Lord of the Craft. And it was like a Lord of the Rings style thing. I'd also not seen Lord of the Rings. I think I just had a friend that played it. And I was like, I'm a cool elf that does everything good. And for some reason, they let me in. I immediately killed someone and went to jail. So that was unfortunate. But maybe there's something to be, like, maybe there's something there. And like, that was sort of where I got my start playing Minecraft, was doing that kind of thing. And then I played on a server called, like, HeroCraft, where I like did a little more of that stuff. So I think that's the fun part for me, is just being able to set, like, whatever boundaries, because it's such a sandbox game and very accessible. And then play with people.
Well, we'll tack a little bit on for Laterman, who we close questions, but Laterman gets this one in because he started the crazy wave of annual Patreon subs tonight.
Let's
so
go.
He wins the prize on that. What's your favorite Minecraft mob with a B?
Well, so my brand and my whole fucking thing is based around used to be based around the Minecraft slime. And so actually, oh, this is such a terrible fucking story. So back when I started and I didn't exactly know what I was doing, I tried to make myself a logo, and it was literally a JPEG I found and, like, cut out with the eraser tool in Photoshop on top of a literal photo of a popsicle stick. Also, like, it was a PNG image, but instead of saving the file and dragging it into Photoshop, I copy pasted it and then deleted the white. And then I put it on a shirt and had misaligned Arial text that read "The Slimecicle," and I wore that, and that was actually how my whole thing started, was with the Minecraft slime on a popsicle stick, because I was like, I started very, very young, and I was like, well, I need something to differentiate myself, and I need, like, a what is the opposite of a prefix? Like something that. Suffix? Yeah, suffix. I need, like, a suffix for some reason. So I was like, okay, I have a slime. I like slimes. Sickle, like a popsicle. That's quirky. And then I did it. So probably easily Minecraft slime. I hope so. I spelled it wrong, though. It should be with an S, and it's with a C.
Laterman's real question is, would a Slimecicle's snot be hard?
What's the next question?
Matt, I'm surprised you didn't mention that we talked about literally the etymology and origin of popsicles on as a TikTok a few months back. Yeah,
you're right about that. About the guy selling them, like, at the boardwalk at Atlantic City or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, and his grandkids or whatever would call them pops, like, like pop, like your pop, your grandpa, pops sickles. That's what popsicle comes from. It was pops sickles. Now they're just turned into one word, popsicles.
That's a cool origin. Yeah. Isn't popsicle like a brand, like a trademarked?
He sold that, and now I'm starting to remember. I think later on, so this happened, I think, like 1908, 1909, but later on he eventually sold it to I don't know what big food company it was, but I think he made a few bucks off selling the Enterprise.
That's got the Kleenex phenomenon to it, where, like, you can say tissue and Kleenex, or, like, dry cell and battery. He really won out with that one.
He invented it. He invented it, though. I mean, he invented popsicles. It deserves it. I don't know if Kleenex invented tissues, but
No,
like
no,
Popsicle
no,
invented
they didn't.
popsicles.
That's crazy. Wait. He invented like the ice pop, like the idea of it.
Yeah. He literally invented the ice pop. He like put sticks in some juice or something
All right,
and like left them
He deserves it. I agree.
outside.
The
I agree.
Epsicle, because his name was Epperson, and I was completely wrong. It was in Alameda, so that is not Atlantic City. But yeah, no, it's pretty neat here, the etymology on that. And I'd completely forgotten about that, Kevin. Had you not brought it up, I just would not have.
Yeah, and
remembered.
he was actually my grandfather. And he passed that down to me.
Well, now we have to go. We have to go very, very serious.
Oh, okay. All right. Bring it back in.
Yeah, no, this is normal, not serious. Isaac asked about the process of filming Chuckle Sandwiches in person. Episodes for the Chuckle Sandwich podcast. Were there hurdles that you and the team didn't expect to have to clear?
Yeah, I got one for you.
And will there be a second batch of them?
So actually, when all was said and done, it was really a show up and do it kind of thing. We went out to like a Target. All of us went on a big shopping trip and like got things for the set, a lot of which we didn't use. But like we went out, we got like sort of jars and condiments and like little fucking like vases that we filled with oils and things. So that like the set was kind of the big thing. And then we had our our producer in the back, Chris Boroff, who used to do stuff for what was it called? Machinima Inbox, who Schlatt fucking loves, and actually we like pulled him on a couple times. He made things super, super easy. I would say the only real hurdle that we faced was the episode that just came out, the Chuckle Dungeon episode. I set that all up entirely behind their backs. So like I brought out a bunch of stuff. I had them bring in like a fog machine or a smoke machine or whatever. Brought in a bunch of different props and like candles and things. I basically said to Ted, hey, bonus points if you show up in costumes for you and Schlatt. Wrote out that whole session, made playlists for the music, and had to like logistically figure out how it was going to be put together. That was probably the biggest hurdle because I didn't have any help on it because I couldn't tell them anything. Otherwise, super, super smooth. Influencers / content creators are fucking hard to schedule and lock down. You guys have a good system here where you basically have like time blocks.
They have reactionary personalities.
They do.
Charlie.
Yeah, dude, that is so.
I don't know if you ever heard that term before.
That is well
I made
said.
it up.
All right. There's a reason you're hosting this podcast. We had some trouble sometimes. I mean, people are very much like, they'll either show up an hour early or like they wouldn't show up and be like, oh, I have a thing. And then, they'd come like an hour later. But for the most part, it was pretty simple. We did like 3 shoots a day though, so it was exhausting.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of content. We did that at the beginning, didn't we, Kevin?
We did.
But they weren't.
And
we do about
it is
3
exhausting.
a day in batches.
Do you do 3 a day now?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we just do TCU night.
Happy TCU night, everyone.
Jeez.
Yeah, and this isn't something that we talk about a ton because we just don't. But yeah, Kevin deserves a tremendous amount of credit for streamlining and organizing that entire system to make things sensible in the production.
That's smart, man. I mean,
when things work properly, you can thank him.
Like I got I got like an email for it, and I clicked on the thing, and it just had time slots, and I was like, well, I feel like as soon as I click one, I'm like it's my job to show up. You know what I mean? Like no sort of beating around the bush, and it was good. It was nice. It's a great way to do it.
Yeah, just to let people know how the sausage is made a little bit. We went through the process for a long time of just talking to creators and being like, well, when are you available? I don't know. When are you available? When do you want to do it? That's a nightmare because no one can make a decision and everybody's schedules are so flexible. So a while back, Matt and I just decided, hey, we're going to do TCU night. It's going to be Wednesday. It's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to book guests, and that's when they can come on the show. And that made things a lot easier for everyone. Sometimes people don't realize that, creating structure is a good thing and makes people's lives easier, not harder.
Oh my God, TCU stands for the Create Unknown.
Oh, it's like the Bush's Baked Bean thing all over again.
I figured it out. I thought it was some inside fucking joke. It's just your name. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, cool. All right. I was worried the whole time when I was saying TCU. I was like, am I like saying something weird here? I don't know, but everyone else is laughing at it. That's like, it's just the name of the podcast. Oh, Jesus.
It's actually extremely offensive. I can't believe you fell for it.
Bet.
Well, we were originally going to make TCU night on Monday, but we didn't want to be TCOM, so
you're lost.
Wednesday. So Dan the Latch has a question that's kind of builds on this. He wants to know what it's like to be part of an overwhelmingly popular project like Dream SMP, and how much creative input you have on the direction of your character and the plot and narrative overall.
So Dream SMP is funny. And I say that in a way where I have a lot of, I think, experience in stuff like world building and making an improv narrative with the kind of stuff I do. Honestly, it's my favorite thing to do. I'm working on like a campaign setting now for Just Roll With It, and we do a shit ton of improv. We all play characters over there. Dream SMP basically went from like a pretty scripted kind of linear thing to everyone does their own lore thing. And so I have all the creative input on my character, but the difficult thing is not a lot of people talk to each other about what their characters are doing. And because there's so much context always to the world, and like you need to know like what's roleplay, what's not roleplay, it is a little difficult to navigate and figure out. So I will say I have seen like I've been happiest putting myself in. Basically what I do for Dream SMP is I just record my side and I'm always in character, because that's my solution. Like that's how my brain sorts it, because I hate the stuff where people are like, oh, that wasn't canon, or like now I'm going to do a chill mining stream, but it's not my character, because it confuses my brain, right? Because I'm like, okay, all these characters live like in this space and they have those personalities, but sometimes they're not, and they're just like husks. I don't understand. Like, that confuses me. So yeah, I have total input on my character. I know what he's all about, I guess. I've got like a direction for that. For general like streaming and recording stuff, I will send people an outline of what stuff I want to do, or points I want to touch, and then we just improv through it. So like, the Lost Nevada stuff with Slimecicle, I basically send a start, middle, and end. And I say, in between this, we do whatever fucking bits we come up with, right? I also have a notepad because my character is very malleable, I have a notepad of mannerisms that basically he's picked up, and I occasionally will go over it and be like thinking of ways when I meet people on the server, when I interact, how I can bring them in, and sort of like as people tell me things, I like basically take notes on them, because my character is so fresh. I kind of have like his brain on a piece of paper. But yeah, that's kind of the behind the scenes a little bit.
Ben asked a writing question. Are you looking at these in advance? Because you're like leading one question and the other more perfectly than anybody has ever done.
No,
Is this a total coincidence?
I'm looking at the what chat am I on right now? I'm in the general chat, and the last question someone asked was, anyone know where to find a free vaporwave HDRI? And I've been trying to understand what that means. So no. And then above that, I see what a Slimecicle snot be hard. So
yes. Well, that was the big question. But Ben asked specifically about your writing process, because he said your main channel content is always super well written, and he wanted to know if you had prior writing experience, whether you enlist the help of your pro writer partner, or is it just off the cuff stuff?
Well, first of all, thank you. That actually means a lot, because I do. It's most of my videos have fallen into a format lately where they're big projects and always end in killing God or some equivocal nonsense. But really, I just sort of improv it, and I never record all my stuff at once. So, but kind of between them, I just figure like, what would be best for the pacing right now? Like what would be like, where do I sort of want it to go? Like the Skyrim video was a very fun one to do, because I kind of split it into parts and stuff. There's an upcoming. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to leak a project right now. It'll be fun.
Ooh.
So in 2 days, on the 13th, this will be fun. This will be fun. I did a video where I flew to and I brought some friends out to a haunted asylum, and we did the night there, and it is kind of like I did a story with it. So it you'll see when it goes up, but it has like a story arc. It's like a ghost hunting episode with like consequences and a story arc, so it's fun. But yeah, I mean, in terms of story, I usually have an outline of it's the same thing. I write beginning, like middle points, and then the end. And there's another project I'm working on that follows the same formula. It's very much like when you're writing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, that's kind of what you do to build around improv, is you write the end of it or some like variations of the end, and you kind of write some like convergent points where things are going to happen. And then from there, it's like, it's kind of just a web that almost looks like a beach ball from point to point, right? Like you fill those gaps with whatever. Improv is the fun part, but it's still cohesive. I think that's an important thing to do, is like you improv between the lines. So whatever bits you do, even if they get ridiculous, still kind of adhere to the rules and the pacing established. And that way, as silly as it gets, it's still kind of comprehensive. That's how it works in my head, at least.
That's really good advice. Like, that's really good structural advice to like get a creative thing done, like with enough bounds to get it done, but not so much that it's stringent. It's
been helpful for me, and it was actually, I think I read the sort of idea of writing backwards I got from Arcadum, who does like DMing stuff on Twitch. I read a lot on like storytelling and world building. Like I have like Reddit on my phone, but all the accounts I'm subscribed to are shit like imaginary characters and like world building, and all that stuff is very interesting to me. So I definitely think about it a lot and frequently look at how people do storytelling around improv, right? Because for me, scripting out a whole video, I feel like some of the charm is lost and kind of how I work. So having the balance is important, and then just being able to bounce inside them.
Well, we've got one or two more, and then you're free to slime. Trevor he's asking about the best and the worst thing about blowing up in visibility and popularity and all of that. And if there's anything that you would have done differently, if you'd known then what you know now?
Yeah, I think I would have. I probably would have just gone straight for the personality stuff. Because then I would be able to do what I want and not have worried too much about the formula. But also maybe it was good that I did that. That's the hard thing with YouTube, is like I didn't blow up overnight like a lot of people did. I had a very, very slow kind of rise, which I think is a good thing. Because I sort of had like constant acclimation to it, right? It wasn't like one day it was like, oh, this is my life now. It was kind of like a gradual, hey, I'm making stuff. Oh shit, it's like it's bigger than it used to be. I think the most important thing to know is that I think from when you start to where you go, you should still have some of the same people with you. I mean, the guys that I do just roll with it with are some of my best friends. Grizzly, Condi, and Bisley. They're incredible, and they're smaller creators, but it's kind of just the luck game sometimes. And I think a really important thing about blowing up and the difficulty associated with it is just like keep the people you trust and the people that you really are friends with, just keep them close to you, because if you end up sort of in that world without a life raft, it kind of gets shitty quick, and it is difficult to tell with people when everything is sort of a game of everyone's popular and what's networking and what's kind of going on. So that would be my advice. If you're blowing up fast or whatever, just make sure you have people around you that you trust and a good support system. Honestly, probably it's just life advice anyway. Yeah, that's what I would say.
No, that does kind of help everything work a little bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, don't be intimidated. They're just numbers. Don't focus on them. At the end of the day, really what matters is what you're making. That's what I think put in. A lot of people would disagree with that, I believe. But there's a fine balance.
Well, yeah, but you're right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of hope so, I think. Because it would be a real fucking bummer if it was the other way around. Yeah.
Oh, that is true. Well, Monsieur Chinchilla asks a question that actually makes some sense now that we've been talking about things like dimensional merges recently. The news has been crazy. His question is, what timeline are we on? Do you know?
Yeah, right now we're in 32. Oh, there it goes again. C.
32C?
Yeah, sorry. There was just a little bit of a rift warp. But I'm aligning. I'm aligning. We're good.
Yeah, Ben, don't edit that out. That's not a glitch. That's the rift warp.
Yeah. Did you guys
Maybe
also
throw in
did
a
you guys
sound
also feel
effect? Yeah, I was just saying, we could up our budget and add some SFX.
Oh, that'd be great.
Like,
man.
I'm not exactly Michael Winslow, but I'll try.
Do you guys have any cereal too here that I could have?
Cereal?
I'm just a big cereal guy.
There is no cereal in 32C.
In 32C, Charlie
is your
loves
paradise.
cereal.
I just love cereal.
Egg sandwiches.
I just want to have Cocoa Puffs.
Just all day.
And throw eggs in the trash. And add people.
I wanted to ask you on the eggs thing, is your, the fresh eggs that you get, do they taste way better than the store eggs?
I mean, they are
negligible?
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's actually pretty negligible. Like, I think it's really just at the end of the day, an ethical difference. I don't really notice it, but the store-bought eggs I have are, again, like they're the sort of free-range thing. And, I don't know. I don't think eggs can really taste that different.
Because my parents will get these eggs from like a local farmer every now and then, and I haven't had them, but they're like, it's unbelievable. It's like you never had an egg before in your entire life until you eat one of these eggs that's not from the store, but it's just, you get these local eggs and it's like your whole life is different.
I've never been to a restaurant and they're like, this was scrambled with the finest eggs. I've never heard that once. That sounds insane. Like what?
No, but you're getting your girlfriend's parents' eggs, right? Yeah. And that's what I was wondering. Like, are you eating those and being like, man, these are the best?
I mean, if
eggs.
they're listening, yes, but they're good, but they're eggs. I mean, they're eggs. I'm not gonna like eat them and let it aerate. I'm gonna put them in something and spice them up. I guess I could try my egg and one of their eggs next to each other.
Ooh, egg challenge video.
Egg challenge. Who would watch that, man? What is the best egg? And this is all they all look the same.
I will send it to my parents and just be like, you guys are deceiving yourselves.
They're I don't know what my commentary would be. Like, that was a worse egg than the previous egg. Like, it's an egg. What is to be said about eggs? I don't know.
This one is less eggy than
the previous, which was
the previous egg was more egg-like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's my review.
Oh, this one is egging.
Well, we know that eggs make you happy, but Marco's question is a general one. What else makes you happy
besides eggs?
Besides eggs.
I think so. There's two things that make me happy. One is doing things that creatively fulfill me, and two is being launched at high speeds. And I this isn't a bit. I just seriously mean to tell you that if half of my day could be working on a project with like an unlimited budget and a team and making something really cool, and the other half of the day was like getting in bubble wrap and getting in a big fucking slingshot and just being like launched and landing with no repercussions, just as I impact and roll across the earth, I would be truly at peace.
Where does that come from?
I don't know, and that's kind of what scares me. But I used like some
primordial urge.
I did. I mean, like I did like parkour in college, and I like trampoline parks are fun for me. I like that stuff. And like,
I was going to ask what the closest you've come to that has been.
Probably. Let's see. Those like at carnivals, those like big inflatable structures, that they kind of set up and blow up, like those obstacle courses with friends. The closest I've come to it is probably like just being able to freely launch myself through those. Like like the top where there's always a slide, just being able to like throw myself off that slide, not even slide down, but just kind of bang down to the bottom. That's probably the closest I've come.
Just want to be a human crash dummy.
I really do. Like genuine, if I could just be,
that's what it sounds like.
If I could just be like meat, like indestructible meat for just a day, I would.
Indestructible meat?
Yeah, because bones break.
Oh, I see. It's like, I don't know where you're going with this indestructible meat thing.
Yeah, I just, you know what else? I used to, oh my God, you know what it is? I think ragdolls are really, really funny. I think that's probably why. I used to have a game on my phone in like middle school, just that was called Ragdoll. And you would just take this little ragdoll guy and you just flick him around and throw him. And I was like, dude, this guy's living the fucking life.
I wish that was me.
I straight up was.
Just so jealous. Vicariously living out your ragdoll dreams.
Yeah. Maybe it was high school. I had a like flip phone. So
okay. Well, let's see. We learned the secret of the Bush's baked beans talking dog. We learned what TCU means. We learned what a lie it is to pump up the taste of local eggs as opposed to Nellie's eggs imported from New Hampshire. We learned about Hall & Oates. We learned about
content leaks.
We learned content leaks about the haunted house.
I did give you a little secret.
Yeah. This is just chock full of knowledge. We learned about going to Paris and hating it so much that you vomit. We learned about going to Jerusalem and what happens when you go to Jerusalem? Is it the same thing? Do you also vomit?
Yeah.
No, I think
do
that's
you have the barf of Christ?
We did cover a lot of disciplines today, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like this was
valid.
I feel like my horizons have broadened. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Oh, and last but not least, we introduce you to Pete Weber's Who Do You Think You Are? I Am. I think that this was a really successcul episode. So I hope that you got a lot out of it. I know I did.
Oh, I did. I'm learned now. But seriously, thank you guys so much for having me. This was I was a little nervous going in. I didn't really know what to expect, but this was very, very nice.
Everybody says that as if we're like these mean attack dogs.
Yeah, I mean, I was like flinching a lot at first when you started talking, Kevin.
Right. My voice
because
is
that's sort of what your voice incites in me is a primal fear, and I think that's like a little bit. Yeah, so Kevin initiates flight, and Matt, you actually initiate fight.
That's
exactly. Well, after a while, I was like, okay, I'll do both.
Maybe we should coin TCU syndrome. When people come on, they just start, nervous sweating, a little bit of vomit, but not too much. Like it doesn't come out. You just swallow it again.
Yeah, a slight borf.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What is it? A borf?
Huh? What?
A borf?
What are you saying, dude? Borf? What?
What is borf?
What are you saying right now? Borf?
Unlimited games.
I'm being gaslit right now.
Unlimited, but limited bacon.
No games.
But unlimited games. But no games, but all of the no bacon.
All,
Right.
Yeah.
Got it?
Got it. Locked in.
Okay.
Locked and loaded.
All right. Charlie, thanks so much for coming on. Check out Slimecicle everywhere. Chuckle Sandwich. There's a couple of YouTube channels that are Slimecicle called. There's the D&D podcast. And we are the Create Unknown. If you want to join us again next week, if this is your first time here, we'll be back next week, I think, with Marquez. Is Marquez next week?
So
I believe
it's Hans or Marquez.
Hey guys, I'm Slimecicle, and the only thing cooler than eggs is pledging to the Create Unknown Patreon.
Wow.
Yeah.
An unprompted pitch. Beautiful.
Get on there.
Thank you. Get on there. Yes. So I believe next week we will have Marquez Brownlee. If you've heard of that fella, we'll be talking about how dumb I am with cell phones. But yeah, check out the Create Unknown on Patreon. We have a lot of tiers. $2 tots, you can start there, or our dumpster crew, or just go full in and become part of the baby gang. So we'll be back for TCU night next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Until then, see you, Space Cowboys.
Thanks for listening to The Create Unknown. We'd like to extend a huge thank you and congratulations to the Tots and Dumpster crew who save tiny little lives every single month. A tremendous shout out to our elite baby gang commanders. Linus, our newest. Trevsdead, Boromir, Bot Dogs, Chinchilla, Isaac, Conrad, James, Andrew, Jeff Davis, Patrick Pister, Baseweight, Monahim, Dojangles, and Zero. And thanks to our grizzled, battle-hardened child infantry. Jen Maffasanti, Kevin Menard, Mikhail Steinke, Risebread, Sean Malone, Ryan, Kamikaze, Maria Marco, Sheep, Tom Videogre, Jelksies, and Dan the Latch. Thank you as well to our indentured servants, producer Dan Yosua and producer-editor Ben Webster. Thanks to Baseweight for use of Created in the Unknown for the opening theme, and to Electro Voice for giving us mics to sound good on top of it. The Create Unknown is an Unknown Media production in partnership with Studio 71.